Now, usually, I try to make videos that inspire you to travel or chase your dreams, and I'd much rather you watch those. But I do realize that a lot of times chasing your dreams end up becoming a business. So I thought I'd lend a helping hand, or two.
All right, so we are going to start with inventory turnover ratio. And this is a very good place to start because I feel like I get to explain a lot of things in one video and hopefully make them very easy for you. So the first thing we want to talk about is, well, should we start with inventory or turnover? Let's start with turnover. Whenever you see turnover, think, how good am I at taking one thing and turning it into something else? All right. Usually it'll be sales, but it's good that we're getting inventory turnover ratio out of the way because it's one of those turnover ratios that decides to just be unique. In this sense, we're trying to see how good are we at taking our inventory, the dollar value of the things we hope to sell, and how good are we at changing it into something we've actually sold. Which leads me to my next point. So those are 2 points I want to go over. Turnover, how you should look at it. How good are we at taking something from what it is and changing it to something that we prefer. Inventory, things we have that we hope to sell. And now my third most important point here is cost of goods sold. And to me, it's very important because it's something that I didn't even realize that I was doing until very recently. Well, relatively recently, I should say. So cost of goods sold, I was always hung up on the whole cost side of things. The cost of goods sold is a line in our financial statement that you're going to find in the income statement. And revenue, I see as a good thing. It's money we're collecting, right? That's good. And cost of goods sold, I always attribute it to not being a bad thing, but I don't like to spend money. And when I see cost, it means I'm spending money. And cost of goods sold takes away from my income statement. I'm going to subtract out my cost of goods sold from my revenue. So I sort of looked at it as a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing because instead of focusing on the cost side of the term cost of goods sold, how about we focus on the fact that we have goods sold? Because in inventory, we're hoping to sell them. And with cost of goods sold, we've actually sold the items. So let's take a quick look and run through an example. Excalibur. All right, so here we go. Inventory. Let's just say we're selling markers, just to keep things simple, okay? I don't endorse this marker. Well, I don't know. I guess I do technically endorse it since I'm using them, but you could buy whatever marker you want as long as they work. All right, so let's stop being political and actually talk about this example. Inventory. Let's say we are stocking up on markers, okay? We've done our research and we know that for a fact we can sell 100 markers this period. The period could be whatever you want. It could be annually, it could be biannually, it could be weekly, whatever. All right. Within a period, we know that we can sell 100 markers. 100 markers that we can sell. I will just put exclamation point for we can sell. Okay. So we talk to our supplier and we say, let me get 100 markers because I think I can sell 100 of them this period. And he's going to charge us his price. So let's say he charges $2 per marker. Okay. Per marker. And I'm going to show you how what we hope to sell turns into things we've actually sold. $2 per marker. At the beginning of the period, he says, fine. I mean, you have the cash, you have $2 per marker, I will give you 100 markers. So we pay $200 to get 100 markers. And how is that working? Because we take the amount we want times how much he wants to collect for each, and that's $2. $200. Fair? This is the value of our inventory. This is our inventory. We hope to sell this amount of markers, and it cost us this in total to acquire it. The things we have, our inventory, what we hope to sell, cost us $200 to collect. So the value of our inventory is $200. Simple, no argument, no debate. You get it. Cost of goods sold. So at the beginning, we said we could sell 100 markers. And then at the end of the period, we wake up, take a shower, we feel refreshed, we count what's left, and we realize, kind of overshot there a little bit because it looks like I have 20 markers left. 20 markers left. This, whatever is left is still inventory. Okay, it's still inventory because we still have it. We still hope to sell it. Just because the period's over doesn't mean our ambitions change. We want to get rid of it. We may have to sell at a discount now, but either way we have it and we hope to sell it. How much did we pay for that? It's that same that $2 each. It hasn't changed. So 2 times what's left is equal to $40. Okay? So this is the new value of our inventory. Still inventory because, again, we have not sold it. Why should we be excited when we see cost of goods sold? This is why we're going to focus on the goods sold side of things. Knowing that we have 20 left out of 100, 100 minus 20 must mean we sold 80. All right? This is where your cost of goods sold come into play. So for 80 markers, we paid $2 each. That hasn't changed. It will never change. What we've done in the past sticks. All right? And that means we paid $160 for all the markers that we sold, and that's cost of goods sold. We've gotten rid of it. Now, do not confuse this with the amount of money that your customers actually gave you, the money you collected, because even though we pay $2 for each marker, we are business people. We may have charged $10 for each marker. We may have charged $20 for each marker. We bought it at $2. That's all well and good, but we can sell it for however much we want, however the market can tolerate. Okay, so cost of goods sold. Everything we've gotten rid of, how much did we actually pay for it? So hopefully now you can see why, oh, marker's dying. Hopefully now you can see why inventory turnover ratio is very important, because you want it to be as high a number as possible. The higher the number, that means the quicker you're getting rid of things. So we're going to look at a quick example here. Inventory. Well, actually, yes, it's good for me to start with inventory because a lot of textbooks, and the reason I kept it this way is because they just have it as cost of goods sold over inventory, and that's all well and good because it at least lets you, it gives you a chance to memorize what's going on. But now that you understand the story, that we're comparing how much we started with how much we end up with, I should at least tell you the truth. Okay, let's just get another marker in the meantime. And the truth is that it's going to be your cost of goods sold to calculate your inventory turnover over the average inventory. And why is that? Think about it. Cost of goods sold is a function, or it's a member of the income statement, and that measures over a period of time. So from the start all the way to the end of the period. That's a lot of time potentially. So how is it that we're going to compare something that takes up a whole span of time with inventory that it's measured on the balance sheet, which is only concerned with specific points in time? So cost of goods sold covers a span of time, and inventory covers it. Well, it involves a specific point in time. For our cases, it's going to be the beginning of the period that we're looking at for cost of goods sold and the end of the period that we're looking at in relation to cost of goods sold. So the average inventory is going to be your beginning of the period, and the end amount. So you're going to add them together, divide by 2, and that's going to give you your average inventory. So let's take a quick look. Whatever example you want to look at, it's always going to be the same. When you calculate inventory turnover ratio, you're going to look at, again, like I guess as I've said multiple times at this point, the income statement, whatever cost of goods sold. Let's just make up a number. Say we paid $50,000 for everything we were able to get rid of this period, and at the beginning of the period we started with let's say 10,000. I think that's good. $10,000. Yeah, only because I hope the math doesn't fail me on this one. Okay, so yeah, 10. I think, yeah, we could say we started with $10,000 of inventory. And another reason why the average works best is because we're talking about fluctuations. Once you get rid of it, you may have to purchase more. And just using one inventory point within a whole span of time is not fair. Tomorrow I may, want to buy a lot more inventory because a lot of people are buying the markers, or I may decide I don't want to do anything. So taking the average from the beginning to the end sort of takes care of everything for us, because this is going to be fluctuating. Okay, so plus 5,000. Let's say we end up with 5,000 of inventory at the end of the period. So that's going to be 50 over 15. Actually, let's just be complete here. So we take care of all the zeros. This is going to be 15, 3, 45. All right, so it's going to be like 3.3. Yeah, I think that's about right. Okay, so what does this mean? That just means that within this period, whatever it is we're selling, we're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of inventory 3.3 times. So about 3 times. We have a certain amount within that period. We turn it into cash revenue, and we document how much we paid for what it is we've sold, our cost of goods sold, and then we just get more inventory and we keep selling as much as we possibly can. And it looks like within that period we did it about 3.3 times. We're able to turn our inventory into cost of goods sold 3.3 times. That's all that means. So hopefully you're able to see at this point why certain companies with low profit margins would want their cost of goods sold being as high as possible. You're not going to compare, you're not going to say this is the standard cost of goods sold. Every single company should reach for this, because a deli is not the same as a car dealership, right? The deli by my neighborhood, they rely on high inventory turnover, people coming in and out, buying milk as quickly as possible because the milk's going to go bad. Or things are going to, they carry a lot of perishable goods, so their inventory turnover ratio needs to be high. And they're not making a lot of money on everything they sell. So they need to sell a lot of it, because they may just be making pennies on the dollar. And for them to make a lot of money, they need to have a whole lot of pennies. And for them to have a whole lot of pennies, a whole lot of people got to come in and buy stuff, turn their inventory into things they've actually sold. While a car dealership, on the other hand, we sell 1 or 2 every month, we'll live. You sell 1 or 2 gallons of milk every month for a deli, and you're not going to be a deli for much longer. Okay, so inventory turnover, turning our inventory, the things we hope to sell, into things we've actually sold. All right, hopefully this long video leaves no doubt in your mind. Again, the key things I want you to really remember out of everything I've said, really just the relationship between inventory to cost of goods sold and turnover. Okay, we're taking something and we're changing it to something that we would rather see it be. Taking something as what it is and changing it to something that we'd rather see it be. Thanks for sticking with me.
Thank you so much for watching. Turning a dream into a reality usually ends up becoming your business. That is why we have the Helping Hands videos. Subscribe, like, and feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Fans of Kindness, our Facebook page, is also waiting for you. See you in the next video. Until then, be your best and never stop learning.